This year I have about 400 acres. Only 60 acres of corn, the remainder is soybeans, and that was due to the early wet weather. We had to wait to plant a little bit later and chose soybeans because it was later. On our farm last year, because we had 100% prevented plant due to the wet weather, in August when it finally got dry enough to work the soil, we went in and planted a rye cover crop for the winter to protect the soil and also to help absorb some of that extra moisture that we had. And that was a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to not only protect the soil, but as we came into the spring, it was the roots of that crop were loosening the soil, making it more granulated, easier to work with. We no-till right into that rye, and it was a perfect complement to the soybeans and the corn that were coming up. We could see in the areas that were too wet to plant rye, we could see the compaction layers in the soil. And right next to it, where the rye was growing, we could see that the soil was granulated, the roots were able to go down, and the rye actually went down about 1.5 feet. The roots did. And so fantastic for the soils, and we were very happy. It looks like that's going to provide us benefits into the coming years even. It was a learning experience because we had never done a cover crop, particularly rye, in the past. It grew up in some spots up to 6 feet tall before we could get in and plant because of the wet spring. And that was a challenge, not having done it before. But it worked very well, and we would do that again. We planted right into the rye, totally no-till. Because it was so tall, we used GPS to find our way through the field. The seeds planted perfectly, they planted very evenly, they had moisture throughout the summer. The roots of the plant made the soybean roots be able to go down much easier. It was just a real benefit to have the rye in. When we put our pre-plant herbicides on, it did kill the rye. There may have been some small escapes, but when we came back with our application over the top, then that killed the remaining rye. We haven't been able to begin harvesting soybeans. We have started some corn, and it is probably about 22%, 21% moisture, which is a little high, but we don't mind starting at that level. The stalk health is tremendous on both corn and soybeans, and I don't think I've ever seen either crop as even as it is through the field as it has been this year.